I am pleased to welcome you to this short video presentation, a companion to the third open letter by OmniNet concerned with the imperative to reduce the frequency of spina bifida in Ukraine. The main theme of this short video concerns the very recent news that the United Kingdom will fortify flour with folic acid in order to reduce the frequency of spina bifida and related disorders in the United Kingdom. The events in the United Kingdom should have a strong impact on the debate by the Ukrainian parliament of a very similar legislation, number 5657, which calls for mandatory flour fortification with folic acid for the same purpose, that is, the prevention of spina bifida. But there is a but. There is some concern. A group of scientists from the National Institute of Public Health of Ukraine voiced strong objections to the fortification of flour in Ukraine. They consider folic acid dangerous and prevailed on the Academy of Medicine to distribute their objections directly to parliamentarians who, being not scientists, are in no position to dispute such claims. Shown here is an extract of the objections by the scientists from the mentioned institute. And stressed here is the fact that the very similar or even identical objections raised by a variety of international investigators were explored by the United Kingdom Independent Expert Committee. These warnings were considered to have insufficient scientific basis and therefore not to be meritorious, which led to the United Kingdom to adopt the policy of fortification. We show here an icon of breast cancer because we believe that that was totally unnecessary and inappropriate to be included by the objections of the mentioned Ukrainian scientist. That is more of a scare tactic than a serious objection. And I will add a few observations as to why the news from London that folic acid will be added to the flour in the United Kingdom is so relevant to Ukraine. On the website of the government of the United Kingdom, the following can be found. The Premier Minister, the Prime Minister, stated among a long speech that fortification of flour with folic acid is a quick and simple strategy to enhance the development of infants. The UK's Secretary of Health stated that such policy will give children a much healthier start in life. These are exactly what's needed in Ukraine. And of course, much more can be found in the governmental site of the United Kingdom about folic acid, how it is added worldwide by over 80 countries, how the claims of unintended health negative effects have little substance, how the Scientific Advisory Committee on Nutrition in the UK analyzed such objections. And then to underscore that fortification of flour with micronutrients and metals is not new. It has been going on since World War II in many countries, and it was so, I must underscore, in the Soviet Union. Adding iron, calcium, thiamine, niacin were standard procedures, including in the Soviet Union. Ukraine stopped doing so for reasons unrelated to public health. Another strong fact to keep in mind is that countries such as Canada, United States, and many others that introduced new programs to reduce the frequency of spina bifida through folic acid range in approximately 5 per 10,000 births. In Europe, this fact is not so. In Europe, the frequency of neural tube defects is at least twice as high because Europe does not fortify. And in Ukraine, the rates are much higher, and that's why it is appropriate to call the Spina Bifida frequency in Ukraine an epidemic. Here are shown 3 regions of Ukraine, and the last bar, showing the highest rate, concerns births in an area impacted by Chernobyl-related ionizing radiation. EuroCat is a network of population-based surveillance systems across Europe, sponsored by the European Union. Omninet in Ukraine is also a member of EuroCat. It is the only member that conducts monitoring in territories of the former Soviet Union. The generalized failure of public health systems to prevent neural tube defects is particularly painful in Ukraine because in Ukraine there is a veritable epidemic. And we are proud that young national deputies introduced legislation 5657 to mandate flower fortification with folic acid to reduce the frequency of spina bifida and related disorders. These ladies and deputies are fully aware of the pain and anxiety that the possibility or the presence of such malformations causes in the population across Europe. So, to conclude, we believe that the scientists that oppose the legislation to fortify flour with folic acid is due to their perhaps excessive caution regarding nutritional policies in Ukraine. The news from the United Kingdom should suffice to change opponents into proponents, and we hope that those who expressed opposition to legislation 5657 henceforth will be the most enthusiastic proponents of such public health policy. So thank you for your attention. Please send us letters of support and please disseminate our newsletters and this video.